Hi, I'm Sean Berry. I'm with Ego Management. My phone number is 0424 755 793. Today's date is the 18th of the 12th, 2025, and my date of birth is 21st of April 1984, aged 41. Have I dealt with depression or serious life changing events? Yeah, I have. At the age of 17, I lost both my parents. I actually remember it all too well. I was in year 11 at the time. I repeated year 10 to get better marks. Something that my parents were actually very proud of me for doing. But on this particular night, my dad had decided to take the day off work because, well, my mom was doing an afternoon shift, and her car had broken down the day before, 2 days beforehand, and the day before this day happened was my mother's birthday, actually. So, my dad, he goes off to go pick my mum from the train station, and they'd been going for hours. And what ended up happening was I get a knock on the door, and I'm stupidly, I'm playing video games on the computer, I'm on the internet, I'm just doing kid stuff. And I hear the knock, and I'm thinking, oh, they must, what's going on? If they, forgotten the key in the car or something, or something silly like that. And I go to open the front door, and it's a police officer and the Salvation Army guy. And at first, I'm not even focusing on the uniforms, except for the police officer. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? And I think, oh crap, is this? Because I thought we lived on property. Next door was paddocks. And I thought something stupid like the dogs had actually gotten out and were chasing the cattle and it had killed a cow or something by accident by playing with it. And the Salvation Army guy goes, "Are you Sean Berry?" I'm like, yeah, I am. Why? What's going on? I thought, find out what's happening, because when I looked down, I saw it, the badge saying Salvation Army, and he goes, "I'm sorry to tell you, but your dad's died. He's dead. He died in a car crash, and your mum was in the same crash, and she's clinging on to life." And I couldn't believe it. I collapsed, hearing about what happened to my mom. My dad, I wasn't as upset about, but my mom, I was. And so I was trying to call up any family member I could at the time. And my siblings, none of them were picking up the phone. So I called a friend up to meet me at the hospital. I called a couple of them, actually. One of them thought it was a joke. I said it was a sick joke, and until I put the police on the phone, and that's when he realised I was telling the truth. And I called up another friend. His dad picked up the phone and kind of go at me for calling that time of night, until I told him, my dad's dead and my mum's in hospital. They've just had a car crash. And the next words from him were, "I'll make sure Jason's at the hospital," which Jason was one of my best mates at the time when I was a kid. And so I was there. I was all alone at the hospital. My siblings, they didn't even show up. One of them was, in same state. He was only about half an hour's drive away. And the other was in a different state, he got his in-laws to rock up instead. And my my mate came by with his dad, and his dad, when he heard the news about my mum had also died of internal bleeding, his words will always haunt me, and because he was a devout Christian man, and he turned around and said, "It makes you doubt if there really is a God or not." So yeah, I've gone through that. You know, I've gone through a lot of depression because of it. Because of my siblings being neglected, becoming homeless because of it all, being abused by my siblings because of it, and you could easily make a movie out of my that first 2 years, a couple of years from my after my parents died. But yeah, I've gone through depression. I've gone through it pretty hardly.